Well, again, thank you all so much for joining me for Cultivating the Will to Lead. And I'm excited. Let me make sure I say that correctly. I want because it's such a bold title, Cultivating the Will to Lead. And got a subtitle here, and I want to use it for the look. I want to use it for the remaining of the year, probably for the whole year of life, because it's so powerful. Am I an effective leader? So I'm telling you, it's when I think about that, it just touches my heart because you know leadership is when we say cultivating the will to lead. Let me just give you just a quick snippet. This is what I say: genuine leadership is not a title to be achieved, but a persistent decision to master our own spirit, so that others may be compelled to be followers, and to help them to find their way. If that's their mission and their goal and their purpose in life, is to become a leader, because leadership is not just caught up with title. It's more than that. It's more than that. And I look at this is me again. Leadership is a calling. Leadership come with godly wisdom to be effective. The only way we can be effective as a leader, it takes wisdom. All right, and again, welcome. I'm going to go on to my next slide here. And those that know me and those that don't know me that will come back to listen to the replay, I'm going to slide my thing up just a little bit here. My name is Dr. CJ Lee. I am the CEO and founder of Wisdom Leadership Global Academy Corps. And I tell everybody I am thrilled to share my passion with the world about leadership. I hold a doctorate degree in education leadership professional practice from Trevecca Nazarene University, Nashville, Tennessee. And I got a little snippet here about Wisdom Leadership Global Academy. I'm not going to read the whole thing, so you can always take a snapshot of it, a screenshot if you want to. But my main thing, I want to jump all the way down to the last sentence. Equipping and empowering the next generation of emerging leaders for the marketplace is our assignment. That's what Wisdom Leadership Global Academy Corp is all about: equipping and empowering the next generation of emerging leaders for the marketplace. And as a former federal government employee, a labor union president, I didn't go to school for it. It was a calling. I was handpicked by God, not man, handpicked by God to do the will of God and for the world. So also I got our website there. You can also please check out our website, and there's the email address for us as well. You can always email us, and we will try to respond to you within 24 hours. 24 hours. All right. Cultivating the will to lead. Am I an effective leader? That's our title today. Now I got these. I did as I was preparing for this lesson. I just got different snippets of different leadership posts, and I thought this was really good. 5 habits of an effective leader, and I like the title here. It says, "Great leadership is dynamic. It melds a variety of unique skills into an integrated whole. Do you think you have what it takes to be an effective leader?" We got to stop and ask ourselves. Everybody want the leadership title. It's not about the title. It's not about the title. It's not about that. But do you think you have what it takes to be an effective leader? And he said, well, here are some of the many ingredients which go into an effective leadership mix. That's the reason I say am I effective leader requires us to daily do a self-assessment. And we have to self-examine ourselves. And we talk about the vision, passion, walk the talk, communication. That is a key. Communication is a key to effective leadership. Courage is a key. And Sun Tzu, a leader leads by example, not by force. And I took some notes here. And one thing that hit me as I stated as I was preparing this lesson, the mirror of leadership. And if you have any questions, just throw your hand up, and I definitely will answer them if I see your hand up. And I'm trying not to go so fast. But the mirror of leadership. And my core question to people is that, leadership is often measured by the KPIs. And a lot of people don't know that. That's like, okay, if you don't really know what KPIs are, why are you leading? But anyway, key performance indicator. And today we look at that as profit margins or projection completion. But what we fail to observe is that the most vital metric. Now I have to calm down because I get about to cry because I take leadership so serious to heart. But what we fail to observe is that the most vital metric is the one we see in the mirror. I just got to read that again. But what we fail to observe is that the most vital metric is the one we see in the mirror. That's looking at yourself, not your title. When I get up in the morning, it's mirrors everywhere in your house, in the office, wait a minute, in your house, in your car. You got the rear view mirror, you got the little side mirror, you got the glass, you got all of that. When you get out the car, there's a mirror. When you're going into your office, there's a mirror. When you go to the bathroom in your office, there's a mirror. Mm-hmm. So that's where you determine, am I effective? Am I an effective leader? Today is not about judging our past, but orchestrating our future. That's what it's all about. Orchestrating our future. I have 16 uncomfortable yet necessary questions. I might not get through them all today, but hey, I'm going to pick up continuation until next week. But the first question is dealing with daily pulse. I'm going to go to my next slide here. And again, this one here is effective leadership cheat sheet. And I heard, let me say this here, this a little bit, just a tick off. I heard a pastor say, well, my former pastor say, you have the cheat sheet for life. God has given us the cheat sheet. And everybody in the church was looking like, okay, what kind of cheat sheet he talking about? And he raised the Bible. I said, whoa. And that stuck with me. When I saw that, I said, oh, effective leadership cheat sheet. So a true leader understands that leadership isn't a title we put on when we walk into the office. It's not just, we change hats. I'm going to be the leader today. I'm going to be the lead today. I'm going to be the CEO. No, it's not about titles. It's a character trait that starts at the breakfast table. Especially for those of us that are married, for those of us that have children. I'm going to read that again. A true leader understands that leadership isn't a title we put on. It's not a title we put on when we walk into the office. It's a character trait that starts at the breakfast table. And if I be transparent, I didn't see that growing up because we didn't have that in our household. We didn't eat at the breakfast table. It was get up, get ready, and bye. I thank God that I'm a leader. I know that I'm a leader. I've been a leader ever since 9 years. I can say 9 years old, but that leadership starts at the breakfast table. I didn't have that. I didn't have the role models that as some of you all have today. And I think Tanika have today. Mr. Ron, his children might have today. I didn't have that. So all my leadership skills, ability, God did. It was the Holy Spirit. The pulse check at home. You got any question, Tanika? Okay. Pulse check at home is about setting a tone that prepares us for our day. It's that, it's like our kids. I heard a prophet say the other day that, we got to pray over our children. Even, with our leadership at home, everything starts at home. We can't blame the church. We can't blame the teacher. Leadership starts at home, teaching our children. Even, this is not a Bible lesson, but what we fail to realize that wisdom only comes from God. Our young people need to know about true leadership. Our young people need to see role models. When we look in the mirror, even this morning, what was the first instruction? Was it instruction or command we give ourselves for the day ahead? Do we tell our children? Do we even just prepare our children for the day? You know what I'm saying? So my question is, let me make sure I don't want to go too fast because I get excited talking about it. But let me go back to the question because I probably said it so fast. When we look in the mirror when we looked in the mirror this morning, what was the first instruction or command we gave ourselves for the day ahead?
One thing I would say, even for me, as I prepare each day, and honestly, and granted, I know, of course, this is not a biblical or spiritual podcast or what have you. But one thing, of course, my day always starts with prayer, no if, and, or buts about it. And it's always, Lord, how can I bless you today? Who can I encourage today? Who do you need me to pray for today? And it's just like, even when you think it from the mind of a leader, it should always be, like you said, starting there in the mirror. That's where it starts there.
Right.
If you are a leader, looking at yourself, doing that post check and wondering, okay, which one of my, who of my employees, if not all of them, can I help today? Can I help motivate? Can I help encourage? Because again, when you're thinking about leadership, I'm always hung up on the servant leadership. But you even take, even from the biblical perspective, Jesus said the greatest in my kingdom is the one that serves. And
Right.
so that's what truly the essence of true leadership is: serving. It's not the title, it's you are serving. You are helping those in under your tutelage to be able to grow. You're helping to advance. You're doing whatever legally, of course, necessary to be able to see them succeed, to helping them to be effective in what they want to do. And like even on the previous slide, that quote, a leader leads by example and not by force.
That's it. That's it. That is so true.
And so that is for me, that is a daily thing. It's like, okay, because I know we're not here on the earth just to occupy a title. We're not
No.
here to
Exactly.
occupy space. We all have an assigned purpose, whether we walk in it or not. We are here for a reason. And most times it's to play a part in somebody else's life, to play a part, to be a page in somebody else's story. Let me get on off here because I'm about to. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome. Mr. Harvey, you have a question? Or you want to comment?
So to add on to that as well,
Mm-hmm.
we talk about leadership. It's really more broad-based. People want to believe. Yes, we may have people that some people that report to us, but it's also when you're talking about effective leadership, when you're talking about servanthood, and you're talking about leading by example. It's at the
Mm-hmm.
grocery store. Somebody
Yes.
is there and they're saying, and I'll just take a quick example where there's a woman who's 4'8" and I'm 6'4", and she says,
Okay.
"Sir, can you grab this for me? I can't reach it."
Mm.
That's
Yes.
serving.
Yes. Yes, it is.
It's when you're seeing on the phone where somebody's calling and you're really very busy, and you may know who it is. You may know what it's going to be about, or you may not
Mm-hmm.
know. But
Right.
picking up that phone when it's inconvenient for you.
Right.
The
That's right.
Lord did all those things when it was not very convenient for him at particular times.
That's right.
So
That's
it's
right.
really giving of yourself when it's a opportunity to, and when it's really not an opportunity to.
Right.
But you have to
Exactly.
be very prayerful to find out, Lord, where do you want me to lead you? And I like what she said earlier, when you're getting up and you're praying, because yes, you say, Lord, what do you want me to do today?
Yes.
What do you want me to do? Because it's all about you, but it's more
Right.
about him.
That's right.
So
That's
yes.
right. Thank you. Oh, that's some good. Y'all got some good stuff here. This is really good. And I got this list. See, these are the lists. These are the traits that we're supposed to follow. But when we think about effective, it's influence. It is serving. And I don't want to go, like I said, this is not a spiritual lesson, but wisdom comes from God. So that's wisdom. It's called, our organization is company is Wisdom Leadership Global Academy, and that was given to me by God. So wisdom, you need the wisdom to be an influencer. You need the wisdom to serve. We need the wisdom to listen, empower, adapt, decide, encourage, respect, strategize, honesty, inspire, preserve. We need all of that. We need all of that. That's a good cheat sheet. But if you ain't got no wisdom, you don't know how to employ that. All right, I'm gonna move on to my next screen here. All right, here we go again. These are we have, if company show you their every physical year, and I say because it's a government point, our physical year in September the 30th, and the new physical year starts October the 1st. They set aside and they allocate. Companies do the same thing, a certain amount of money for training, for leadership training, for employee training. And I used to always say that we were wasting money because we are training these leaders, but yet they're not implementing what they learned in training. And so when we think about most effective leadership, here we go again. We got loyalty, respect, delegation, and empowerment, duties and determination, adaptability and resilience, and empathy. Those are good qualities that we should have, but it still takes wisdom to employ that. It takes wisdom to implement that. And think about the inner circle and intellectual honesty. Going back to leadership at home, because that's where it all starts at. The most honest assessment of our leadership isn't found in a boardroom. It's found again at our dinner table. If listen, and I highlighted this here, this touched my heart. So I'm like, this is just powerful. If we please, I know we got to listen to this one. If you don't hear nothing else I say, if we are a hero at work, but a stranger to our family, our leadership is built on sand. I'm going to say it again, okay, for the replay. If we are a hero at work, but a stranger to our family, our leadership is built on sand. So those are good qualities that we just saw there. Those are good qualities. But my question is, are we leading from a spirit of humility? The desire, as we've been saying, to serve, or egoism, the desire to be served. Now we all are, like I said, this is not a biblical course, but those that know the Bible, he talks about, Jesus even said himself, our Savior, that I didn't come to be served. I come to serve. See, we got it twisted nowadays. Pastors, what I'm saying, we to the point now that can't nobody teach me anything. I know it all. And one thing I learned, and taught me, is that we will never graduate on this side of heaven. There is something to learn every day. Even if you read the Bible, that scripture, it's something new. You get, it's a highlight. It's so like, whoa, where did that come from? I read this before. When you go to these training, what are we really learning? I'm going to say that again. If we are a hero at work, but a stranger to our family, our leadership is built on sand. Now, as the saying say, we say, on Christ, a solid rock. We need a rock to stand on. Because when the storm comes, just like yesterday when our mailbox fell down because of the storm, that sand gonna just slide around. Ask people that built their houses right here on earth. I use it in California. They have a lot of mudslide, and then in the sand, it washes away. It washes away. And right here, it talks about 8 leadership philosophies. Democratic leadership. You can take a picture of this. I kind of put perspective of what each one of these 8 really mean. Autocratic leadership, laissez-faire leadership, strategic leadership, transformational leadership, transactional leadership, solution-based leadership, learning leadership. And me, I'm number 5. I'm a transformational leader. And I even looked up, I said, okay, I said, is there any who actually I can say leaders today that I know of that are formational leaders? It talks about a philosophy focused on inspiring, motivating, and empowering employees to achieve a shared vision and exceed performance goal through positive change, trust, and individual growth. It's not about my title. It's about, am I inspiring those up under my leadership, those that follow me because of my integrity, my character, because I'm under influence. I don't try to force people to follow me. I lead by example. That's what leadership is about. Influence, serving, character, example. I am a transformational leader because I love inspiring people. I love motivating. I remember in the government, and I used to always walk down the hall or go into the ladies' room and be singing. And I remember this lady say, every time I want to come in the restroom to be depressed or discouraged, you in here singing. I said, well, you're too blessed to be stressed, okay, and depressed. So I believe in inspiring people. They know me. People know me. My daughter always said, Mom, people ain't gonna never forget you because you're not. I can make friends easily. I can start because I believe in positivity. And that's what leadership is about. It's not about I'm the boss. I'm the boss. No, it's not about that. I'm a transformational leader. I believe in this time. And I looked up, y'all know Nelson Mandela, he was a transformational leader. Abraham Lincoln was considered a transformational leader. He was a quiet leader who led by example. Okay, then I put down one more person. I got 2. I got Walt Disney. He was a transformational leader. George Washington was a transformational leader. Now, everybody I wrote, I kind of looked and did some research, and I wanted to see what did people call President Donald Trump. They said participative leadership, and I had never really heard of that one, and I got to do a little more research, but it said act more like facilitators rather than dictators, facilitate ideas. That's what they said about, the president, that he was a participative leader. So, hey, but, and I think about the women's, we got Mary Barbara. She's the CEO of General Motors. She's a transformational leader. Then we have Nadala, which she's the CEO of Microsoft. She's a transformation. So, y'all can, like I said, take a screenshot and maybe really ask yourself, what am I? What is my leadership philosophy? Am I one of these 8? I'm going to move on. All right. I'm at the end because I got 2 minutes. Anybody got a question? All right. I want to give this here question here. Are we leading? I think I said that, but I want to, okay. Do we stand by our own conviction? Being fair and firm, being balanced, Tanika. No, we talked about balance. Do we stand by our conviction? True leadership requires a backbone of steel and a heart of gold. We must be firm in our principles to provide stability for others. Whew. Okay, let me calm down. My closing summary. When we ask ourselves, am I an effective leader? It is in itself the first sign that we are a great leader. It shows that self-awareness and commitment to growth that people want to follow us. Let us continue fostering communication and trust. Our impact grows when we equip and empower others to succeed, and that starts with dedication. May we always remember to be effective. I'm talking about be effective, serve. I'm talking about being informed, being an example. We must lead with integrity, act with courage, and always act to inspire. Lastly, words of wisdom. We hear it all the time. The hardest person we will ever lead is ourselves. Once we master that, leading others become an act of service rather than an act of control. But let us never stop learning. Thank you so much for joining. I look forward to you joining me every Friday at 12 o'clock p.m. for a 30-minute energy boost. Am I an effective leader? Again, there's our website, there's our email. I thank Mr. Harvey. I thank TL. You have any last comments?
I know. This was definitely great, and I took a lot of screenshots to be able to use here, of course, in my current role. So thank you definitely for the pour and the encouragement, and definitely some great takeaways.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey.
I need this information and I will carry it forward.
All right, thank you all so much again. I'm gonna stop the recording.